Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we'll be reading from Upadesa-prakasika. Rishtai svabhava janitai vapushascha doshai. Na prakritatvam iha bhakta janasya pashe. Ganga basana khalu buddha prena pankai. Brahma dravatvam apagacchati nīradharmai. Drishtaihi, seen by ordinary vision. Svabhava janitaihi, born of one's own nature. Vapushaha, of the body. Cha, and doshaihi, by the faults. Na, prakritatvam, the state of being material. Iha, in this world. Bhakta janasya, of a pure devotee. Pashet, one should see. Ganga ambasa, of the Ganga water. Not. Khalu, certainly. Buddha phena pankai. By bubbles, foam and mud. Brahma dravatam, the transcendental nature. Apagacchati, is spoiled. Nīradharmaihi, the characteristics of water. Translation purport by His Evangelist Bhaktivedanta, Swami Śrīla Prabhupāda. This is a text 6 we are reading from Upadesa-prakasika. Translation. Being situated in his original Krishna conscious position, a pure devotee does not identify with the body. Such a devotee should not be seen from a materialistic point of view. Indeed, one should overlook a devotee as having a body born in low family, a body with a bad complexion, a deformed body, or a diseased or infirm body. According to ordinary vision, such imperfection may seem prominent in the body of a pure devotee. But despite such seeming defects, the body of a pure devotee cannot be polluted. It is exactly like the waters of the Ganges, which sometimes during the rainy season are full of bubbles, foam and mud. The Ganges water do not become polluted. Those who are advanced in spiritual understanding will bath in the Ganges without considering the condition of the water. Here, we'll go through the purport of Śrīla Prabhupada, just a second, my notes here. Okay, purport. So Śrīla Prabhupada immediately makes the point that those who practice pure devotion are already liberated. Thus one should not see such a soul externally. Shuddha Bhakti. Prabhupada starts the purport like this. The activities of soul proper, in other words, engagement, trust and love service of the Lord, is performed in a liberated condition. First, Prabhupada immediately in the purport gives the definition of Shuddha Bhakti, the activity of soul proper. In other words, engagement, trust and love service to the Lord is performed in liberated condition. And then he gives the shloka. Mam chayo vyabhicārena bhakti yogena sevate sagunān samati vyaitān brahma bhūyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstance, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus come to the level of Brahman. So Prabhupada here discusses further avyabhicharini bhakti. Avyabhicharini bhakti means unalloyed devotion. A person engaged in devotional service must be free from material motives. So this is how to see the pure devotee. How do we see that somebody is situated on that level? See, the previous shloka was discussing how to see three types of devotees, Kanishta, Madhyama and Uttama. Now this shloka describes that the pure devotee, the one who is fully dedicated in devotion service, a guru, should not be seen from material point of view. Prabhupada said that Madhyama also pure devotee. So those who are dedicated, those who are selflessly sacrificing themselves in devotional service, and those who are always engaged, without condition, person engaged in our service, who does not fall down in any circumstance. These are pure devotees. So avyabhicharini bhakti, unmotivated bhakti, unalloyed devotion. Okay? So therefore now Prabhupada describes how to see his characteristics and why he is to be considered always transcendental, why he should not be seen externally. Correct. So this is why the shloka describes instruction how to see, or better how to say, how to not see a pure devotee. No? So this is discussed in the purport. If consciousness is aimed toward material enjoyment, it is material consciousness. And if it is aimed towards serving Krishna, it is Krishna consciousness. It's simple. These are just such a straightforward, simple definitions. And this is what is wanted. This Krishna consciousness movement is meant to change the consciousness of the person. That's the idea. We may change externally, but actually consciousness we have to change if we want to be Krishna conscious. Prabhupada gives a shloka immediately. A surrendered soul serves Krishna without material consideration. Anyabhilashita shunyam yana karmadhyanavrtam anukulana Krishna Śrīla bhaktiruttamam. Jnana karma dhyanavrtam means another devotional service which is transcendental to the activities of the body and mind, such as jnana and karma. It's called pure bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga is proper activity of the soul, and when one actually engages unalloyed and contaminated devotional service, he is already liberated. Sagunan samatitya. Sagunan samatitya. He is above the gunas, above the modes. So now, after pure devotion is established, Srila Prabhupada speaks about pure devotee. Krishna's devotee is not subjected to material condition, even though his bodily features may appear materially conditioned. Sometimes you may see the guru has a very big, healthy body. No? But you can't say, that fat guru is giving nice classes. This is very offensive to see like that. Guru is not fat. Guru is eternal associate of the Lord. You can't see or he is Indian guru, American guru. You will see Prabhupada will discuss all these things. So Krishna devotee is not subjected to material condition, even though his bodily features may appear materially conditioned. Correct? You have guru who has one leg. He doesn't have two legs, he has one leg. So, I should not take diksha because he has only one leg. What one leg? Maybe he has 4 hands. You don't know his swarupa, his spiritual personality. Why not to take diksha? So here, Prabhupada points, one should therefore not see a pure devotee from a materialistic point of view. And this is so difficult for us. For ages, for life after life, we are conditioned and we are seeing everything material. We are seeing body because we are not having eyes to see the soul. We are seeing all the time from material. Foreign devotees. Yeah, we may say foreign devotees for the sake of preaching. They are coming from America, like that. But now that we are seeing Indian devotees, foreign devotees, African devotees, Russian devotees, then what is it? Then what is our advancement? We can discriminate on this bodily platform like that. Unless one is actually a devotee, he cannot see another devotee perfectly. And this is a fact. No, this is a fact that unless one is devotee, who can understand another devotee? There will always be misunderstanding. Karmis always misunderstand devotees, whatever they are, in Indian body or American body, but they always misunderstand. They can't understand. Sometimes people ask, they see some of our devotees who are not born in Brahmin family having Brahmin thread and doing puja and abhishek. I remember when 𝐒𝐞𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬 came for our Janmashtami and saw few of us on the stage. And obviously by seeing us, he could understand none of us are Brahmin born. neither the Indian ones, neither the foreign ones. So he said, what a great Janmashtami, but he was showing continuously. They were showing to Brahmin thread. How they have Brahmin thread? So he was bewildered, he couldn't understand. Because in their sampradaya one is Brahmin by birth. So obviously he could see by the color of the bodies of other devotees, also even Indian, that obviously these are not Brahmin born. He was completely bewildered. He was sitting for all evening, at least from 6 o'clock till midnight. 6 hours he was sitting, he was in bliss. But when he saw Abhishek, he was completely bewildered. What to do now? How to understand this now? Okay. So, unless one is really devotee, he cannot understand another devotee perfectly. As explained in previous verse, there are 3 types of devotees: Kanishthadhikari, Madhyama Adhikari and Uttama Adhikari. The Kanishthadhikari cannot distinguish between devotee and non-devotee. He is simply concerned with worshipping the deity in the temple. So this is Kanishthadhikari. He can't even see who is devotee, who is non-devotee, what to speak of to understanding who is pure devotee. No? Just like they may say, other spiritual organization they're also spiritual, they're also giving some good advices and good instructions to people and this and that. You may see even Mayavad is also good. You may see philanthropic activities. These are all spiritual, these are all same, like that. He cannot distinguish because lack of sambandha, jnana, lack of knowledge. Madhyamadhikari, however, can distinguish between devotee and non-devotee, as well as between devotee and the Lord. Thus he treats the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the devotees and non-devotees, in different ways. So this is required for preaching. This is very much required to have this Madhyamadhikari vision. Then one can actually distinguish who is who, and then he can deal accordingly. To innocent people he would preach, he would encourage them. To devotees he would share, he would treat them friendly, or if he's junior, he would guide him. If he's equal, he will be friendly. If he's senior, he would serve him. And he will understand the Lord's position also. He will not think about merging, he will not have misconception that the many gods are one, he will not have misconception about demigod worship. He will have very clear understanding of the position of Krishna as a Swami Rupa, superior to all other forms of Vishnu, what to speak of devatas. And the non-devotees, the envious, he would avoid. He would avoid atheists, he would avoid hardcore Mayavadis, he would avoid people who would just commit more offenses when you preach to them than actually they will hear. We'll avoid hardcore envious people who are really against Krishna and Krishna Bhakti, because as soon as you start talking to them, they'll just commit so many offenses that basically won't help them progress. So better avoid them. We are not going to convince them. Just avoid them. Just like that. Okay. No one should criticize the bodily defects of a pure devotee. If there are such defects, they should be overlooked. So this is the understanding. That when somebody is dedicated in devotional service, unmotivated, pure devotional service, one's bodily defects should be overlooked. Doesn't matter. Maybe he cannot speak properly. Some devotees cannot say letter R. He cannot pronounce Hopel. So we should not mock on that, joke on that. It is a very big offense, seeing any material defect in a devotee. Well, we should respect the attitude, we should respect the dedication. Sometimes even senior devotees come from the Western countries, they may not be expert in the basic behaviors. Say somebody is one book distributor, distributed more books than you and me we have seen in our life. So many books he distributed. He's such a dedicated devotee. But he does not know when he takes prasadam, he takes with left hand chapati and katsit, and left hand, right hand, for him is same, So, yes, in India this is not the best preaching. If somebody touches prasadam with the left hand, it really looks bad. But still, when you think how much service he does and so many years, how many books he distributed, this is insignificant. This is insignificant. This will not show, what so neophyte is touching chapati with left hand. Yeah, he's coming from that background. He still didn't learn what is left hand, what is right hand. But with right hand and left hand, he given so many books out. that both hands can give you blessing to develop your love of God. So that should be seen. That should be seen, should not be seen. Immediately disqualified. If he does some mistake, disqualified. No? Another devotee also, big book distributor, American-born, American body, you must say. Such an advanced devotee he is. But because they brought up in different culture, they do not know exactly in Indian society how to behave. We were stopping and looking for some address, so he opened window and he's calling man, hey! She's whistling, and calling man. We are all shocked. I say, oh my goodness, you're wearing saffron. Hey, come. Man, look. Why? Shocking, Prabhuji, don't mind, we'll handle. No, hey, you, come. And calling like this. In India we call like this. Here calling like this is something not super auspicious. So, it's all mess. I say, okay, in public better we protect him, better we deal these things instead of him. Yeah. So, but where is the fault? Where is the fault when you see he's 100% dedicated in Krishna service, unmotivated, pure soul, nothing he wants for himself. So, such a good devotee. That is very insignificant, simply overlooked. Should not be mentioned, should not be pointed these faults. No. Okay, Prabhupada goes on. What should be taken into account is the spiritual master's main business, which is devotional service, pure service to the Supreme Lord. This is what you have to see. That whether this person is fully engaged 24 hours in devotional service or not. This is the qualification. This is consideration. This is the parameter. This is what is wanted. So this is important. Now Srila Prabhupada continues from the Anuvṛtti of Bhaktivedanta Sarasvatī. Ṭhākura, stating Gita apichet sudaracharo bhajatimam ananyabhak sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hisaha. Now this shloka is quoted, apichet sudaracharo bhajatimam ananyabhak. Krishna says, sadhureva samantavya. Very nice commentary on Vishnu Ṭhākura there. He says that even devotee, sudarachara, does something abominable. He performs something socially unaccepted, something bad. Bhajantimam ananyabhak. But he is still determined to serve me and get purified. Krishna says, sadhureva samantavya. Vishnu Ṭhākura says, somebody say, how can sadhu behave like this? He is not sadhu. And Krishna says, sadhureva, certainly he is sadhu. Who are you to tell he is not sadhu? I am saying he is sadhu. Who are you to tell he is not sadhu? That is from Krishna's point. Why? Kshipram bhavati dharmatva shashvat shantim nigashati. Because quickly he will correct himself. He will repent. He says, oh, what a fool I am. What have I done? And he corrects himself quickly. And then he becomes again situated in the path of dharma. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhaktav karnashati. So this is proper understanding. That if devotee does something because cultural background is like this, or ignorance, simply ignorance, anarthas or whatever, but because he's 100% dedicated in devotional service, this small thing should be overlooked. Bhagavan is overlooking it. Bhagavan says, sadhureva. Who says he is not sadhu? He is sadhu. Who says he is not sadhu is going against my own word, Krishna says. Even if devotee sometimes seems to engage in abominable activities, he should be considered sadhu, saintly person. Because his actual identity is that of one engaged in the loving service of the Lord. Of course, this shloka Prabhupada is warning in the purport there, 930, you see, that one should not be rascal and go on continuing doing sinful activities and say, I'm a sadhu, I'm a sadhu. Okay, Krishna may excuse one time, Krishna may excuse 2 times, but how many times you're going to consider the same thing, No? Prabhupada said, okay, foolishly we did something, but don't remain a fool. Correct yourself, improve yourself. So, this is the understanding. In other words, he is not to be considered an ordinary human being. Then Prabhupada goes on discussing this Goswāmī title. The Goswāmī Tata is not hereditary. Even though a pure devotee may not be born in Brahmana or Goswami family, if he is engaged in service of the Lord, he should not be neglected. Now you see, we understood that there is all Appa Sampradaya of Goswamis, or the gurus who are coming in line from some of the followers of Lord Chaitanya. You have followers of Advaita Acharya line, you have Nityananda Vamsha, Nityananda line, and from Gopal Bhatta Goswami's line, from this line, that line. So they got the title Goswamis. They would take care mostly of the very prominent temples in Vrindavan or Navadvip, Mayapur. And they will be Goswamis, just my father is Goswami, so my name is also Goswami. It's just by hereditary title. My father was Guru, so I am a Guru. Family Gurus. Even in Balaba's line, also there is family Gurus. Father is Guru, so his son automatically becomes Guru. Now the thing is that unless the characteristics match, it's very difficult to accept such a Guru. Because the characteristic is avyabhicharini bhakti, pure devotional service. That is what is to be considered. So now if the Guru is simply Guru and he has home TV and he, does harikatha for money, then it's difficult. And they go on initiating, they go on having disciples, and it's a little funny to see. He has family, he has children going to Karmi school, he has home TV, he has a car, he has a bike, he has, just like anybody else. But what is his job? I'm a Guru. What is your father's? Oh, my father engineer, and your father doctor, and your father Guru. It's a good job. Okay, so in actuality there cannot be a family of Goswamis based on material consideration, caste of heredity. The Goswami title is actually the monopoly of the pure devotees. This is very nice statement, look at this. It's the monopoly of the pure devotees. And example given, thus we speak of 6 Goswamis headed by Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. Maybe they were externally, from material point of view, servants of Muslim emperor, Dabir Khas and Sakara Malik. Even the Muslims, they changed their name into Muslims' name because they were serving Muslim government. Even the Brahmin community rejected them because they were in the service of the Muslims. But you could see, whenever they would be home, they would discuss Bhagavatam. They would be engaged in devotional service. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself made them Goswamis, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. So that body is not considered. Therefore the Goswami title is not hereditary. The word Goswami refers to one who can control his senses, who is master of the senses. Conclusion. A devotee is not controlled by the senses, but it is the controller of the senses. Consequently, he should be called Swami or Goswami, even though he may not be born in Goswami family. So I think this is very clear what we are teaching, that we don't accept by birth. We don't accept by birth. We accept by qualities. Okay, now Prabhupada goes on speaking. American Goswamis. The devotees came from a family of previous acharyas or from an ordinary family. They should be treated equally. Whether they are coming in Nityananda Vamsha or they are coming in Chandala Vamsha from the West. Doesn't matter. Devotee is devotee. Devotee is a devotee. No? So it doesn't matter where it's coming from. One should not think, oh, here is an American Goswami, and discriminate against him. Nor should one think, here is Nityananda Vamsha Goswami. According to the statement of Srila Rupa Goswami in these verses, an American Goswami and a Goswami in family of acharyas are non-different. Now you see, Prabhupada is speaking this because there was big rebellion against Prabhupada's followers and Prabhupada's style of preaching when he came. In 72, he came to India with a whole group of 70s and then 72, a whole group of American and European disciples, and Prabhupada would give them sannyas and Brahmin threads and ask them to do the deity worship and ask them to do yagyas And the people were shocked. Those who are in the Brahmin families, they were bewildered. They couldn't accept it. Because in India, mostly it was according to birth accepted, by socially accepted. You are born in Brahmin family, you get Brahmin thread. Of course, Kshatriya Vaishya would wear also the thread, but they would not be doing yajna. They would not worship the deities. No, Kshatriya and Vaishya, they will also get Brahmin thread, but they would not be taught in the Vedic mantras. So there was big criticism. How can you give to foreigner Brahmin thread? But Prabhupada would quote Gita, he would quote Bhagavatam, he would quote the Shastra, that one is by qualities. Chatur varnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashya. Gunakarma, according to quality and karma, activity engaged. If they have quality, shamudama stapashosham kshanti rajam jnana astikyam, then one should be accepted as a Brahmin. One should be accepted by the qualities. So, we have in India also instances that the famous story from Udupi Krishna. Krishna deity was worshipped, established by Madhvacharya, installed and worshipped by Madhvacharya, and in Parampara was worshipped for hundreds of years. And one day, Kanaka-dāsa. Dāsa indicates his birth in Shudra family. Kanaka-dāsa, great devotee. You know, it's a beautiful poet and pure devotee of the Lord. Wrote so many wonderful books on pure songs on pure bhakti. He came to see the deity, so he was not allowed in the temple because obviously he was not born in higher family. So he went behind the temple, from backside of the temple, and started singing his songs. So in the morning when Pujari came to see the deity was turned backwards. Deity Krishna turned away from the main entrance. Can you imagine, turned backwards, and there was window behind. And deity Krishna was looking at his devotee, Kanaka-dāsa. So that time, and whoever was Anuvṛtti of the mat, whoever was Acharya of the mat, that time he understood, oh, there is some great devotee there. Lord turned, and even today in Udupi, you are not having darshan from the front. You go from behind and you will see the window with 9 holes representing Navavidha Bhakti. And then through the window only you can have darshan of Krishna. Correct? So now after that they allow everyone for darshan, but still they will not give diksha unless you are born in Brahmin family. No. Their own deity showed them. It's by qualities, it's by bhakti, it's not by birth. But still they are not allowing. They will not initiate anybody who is not born in Madhva's Brahmin family. So, when I asked one of the Pandits that why you do so? Krishna, Udupi Krishna temple is famous for that Lord accepted Kanaka-dāsa. Kanaka-dāsa is Narada Muni. That Shastra says it's Narada Muni's incarnation, so he's liberated soul. So we cannot see nowadays who is actually the liberated, who is liberated soul, who is not liberated soul. So for safety, we give diksha only to the Brahmin by birth. They said the previous acharya could see the swarupa of the soul, so they could give diksha like that to anybody. But we cannot, so for safety we are giving only to Brahmins. So something like that. So Prabhupada was criticized, why he gives sannyas to Westerners, why he gives Brahmin trade, So like that. You heard that some of our sannyasis that time also from Western countries did not follow basic culture. Remember in Srirangam, our Murli Bhattar, Srimad Murli Bhattar said that his father hosted American devotees, brought some expensive apples, which are now also expensive in India, what to speak of 70s. And one of the American Goswāmīs put a cracker in the apple and bursted them around like this, Just wild conditioned nature, you must say, Really causing doubts in the mind of local Brahmins that how these people could be sannyasis and Brahmins, or how they are devotees doing these things. Why should grown-up men put the cracker in the apple and burst them, just threw them around, burst them like this. They were shocked. They called Prabhupada. Then Prabhupada has to apologize. He said, anyway, they changed so much, these small things, please overlook, don't mind. You know, their background is like this, but they're dedicated, they've given up everything in service. So they say, yes, you Swamiji, you're right, don't worry, everything will be okay. You know, it was difficult. You know, it's easy when Achar is matching Prachar, but sometimes something strange in behavior of Western devotees, and you know, it has to be overlooked. If proper attitude is there in devotional service to serve unconditioned, then these things, they have to be overlooked. So here, Prabhupada gives a warning. On the other hand, a devotee who has attained the title of Goswami but is not born in Brahmana father or Goswami in the family of Nityananda or Advaita Prabhu should not be artificially puffed up by thinking that he has become Goswami. Now this is another problem, that now, you know, we chant for a few years and we know better than anybody. And then our devotees come and they criticize Sri Vaishnava, they criticize Madhvas, they criticize Vallabhas, they're commenting on Nibarkas, only we know, nobody else knows. That's also not good attitude. We should have respect. We should see devotees by their qualities. Why only we are devotees? Sri Vaishnava not devotees. Who is worshipping Vishnu before 𝐒𝐞𝐬𝐭𝐫 came for thousands of years? Ramanujas, Sri Vaishnavas, Madhvas, they are not devotees. Why they are not devotees? Those who worship Krishna and given life in Krishna service, these are not devotees? They did not take in Diksha in 𝐒𝐿. My goodness. No, they should, but it's like this. Our people are commenting. Fellow took Diksha, now he's commenting. Sri Vaishnava, Madhvas, Whether if you want to comment something, see your own heart, your own mind. That you comment. How to improve, how to purify this. So that we should be very respectful to other sampradayas. We should be very respectful, not to commit offenses and not to be puffed up. Okay, one should not be artificially puffed up by thinking he has become Goswami. He should always remember that as soon as he becomes materially puffed up, he immediately falls down. This Krishna consciousness movement is a transcendental science and there is no room for jealousy. Okay. This movement is meant for Paramahamsas who are completely free from all jealousy. Paramam nirmatsaranam. Nirmatsaranam means non-envious, no jealousy. Conclusion. One should not be jealous whether he is born in family of Goswami or he has the title of Goswami awarded to him. As soon as one becomes envious, he falls from the platform of Paramahamsa. So this is the implication here. Offenses are the lotus feet of Vaishnava. If we consider the bodily defects of Vaishnava, we should understand that we are committing an offense at the lotus feet of Vaishnava. It's very serious. In this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has described this offense as Hathi Mata, the mad elephant offense. Prabhupada described that you invest so much energy cultivating garden, and then the mad elephant comes into the garden. Now here and there we hear from our farms what the mad elephant does at the farm. He just messes up everything around. Everything is destroyed, damaged, just like play. Just he comes and smashes all your crop, and sometimes even they break houses, sometimes they kill the man also. So we just started our bhakti. Our bhakti lata is just coming few mm above the ground, you know. And then you want to bring mad elephant around it. Just a little bit kind of glimpsing at the light. After thousands of lives in ignorance, Bhakti Lata just about to grow. And now this mad elephant is coming. Why to do that? Why to do that? It's a mess. Every devotee should be ready to take instruction from superior Vaishnava. And superior Vaishnava must be ready to help an inferior Vaishnava in all respects. One is forbidden to observe the activities of pure Vaishnava from a material point of view. For the neophyte especially, considering pure devotee from a material point of view is very injurious. This is very important. Don't comment. Don't comment of every small things. but Guru should say like this, but Guru should not say like this, but why he is speaking like this, he should not speak like this, he should not instruct like this, he should instruct like this. Come on, who are you? You are above Brahma, commenting on Guru. Who are you? Just don't be free in the attitude of commenting. Don't feel comfortable commenting on the senior Vaishnava and the Guru. We'll see some Prabhupada's quote later on. Conclusion. One should therefore avoid observing pure devotee externally, but should try to see the internal features and understand how he is engaged in constant and loving service to the Lord. In this way, one can avoid seeing the pure devotee from a material point of view, and thus one can gradually become a purified devotee himself. So this is the understanding. Okay, one should see internal features. This is what should be seen. Now, Srila Prabhupada gives example of himself being misunderstood and criticized. Look at this. Those who think that Krishna consciousness is limited to a certain section of people, a certain section of devotees, or a certain tract of land, are generally prone to see external features of the devotee. Prabhupada said, why he is preaching, they commented, why he is preaching to foreigners. If Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to spread it all over the world, he who have spread it, why he is going on? They commented. Although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Priti Vidya Chaitanya Nagara, Sarvatra Prakshara, Hoibe Morena, but they commented. No? This is a rule. There is a rule in Veda. Sannyasis should not cross the ocean. We met a sannyasi, Madhva sannyasi, who was junior to Visheshwara-tirtha of Pejawar Math, and he was young man serving the Udupi Krishna, dressing the deities, doing Abhishek Puja daily. He was invited by Madhva community in USA, so he went to preach, and were there also. He stayed with Madhvas, he did the puja, he preached, he wore his clothes, his padukas, danda. When he came back, he was prohibited to worship Udupi Krishna. Now his name is Guru Raj Acharya. He's writing books, they say, but he was cut out from Madhva community. Why? Because Shastra says one should not cross the ocean. Because India was considered Punya Bhumi, other countries are considered very materialistic, very low, very degraded. So sannyasi should not go there. And he was banned. He was completely cut off from Madhva community. So Prabhupada was criticized for the same reason. Later on, another sannyasi went, Sugunendra Tirtha from Putthigaon. And then some or other matter went to the court, and court approved. No, he went only for preaching, he didn't go for sense enjoyment, so they allow him to worship. So there is still tension going on. Half hardcore not allowing worship, and half I'll say, okay, he went for preaching, he didn't fall down, he didn't do anything wrong. But they were so strict. So now you know how much they did criticize Prabhupada. He given to foreigners Brahmin thread and sannyas. My goodness, unheard of, unseen, something completely new. It was very difficult, you know. So, such neophytes, unable to appreciate the exalted service of the advanced devotee, try to bring the Mahabhagavata to their platform. Unfortunately, we are surrounded by neophyte God brothers who do not appreciate the extraordinary activities of spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. So Prabhupada was criticized by his own God brothers. Because Prabhupada was externally, when Gaudiya Math was very prominent and active in India and Bangladesh, preaching around, Prabhupada was a Grihastha. He was not of the big sannyasis, right hands of Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura. He was Grihastha who was coming and going. He was known for good lectures, he was known always helping devotees organize program. He was learned, he was awarded title Bhaktivedanta, but he was still, kind of meager. You may say, not so much involved, remember. He was always involved, but not like, some of the sannyasis who were all the time there in the mat and preaching and dealing daily with Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura. So all these senior good brothers, how he can be senior than us? He's just Grihastha, big sannyasi, no? But look at what he did. He spread it all over the world. And they could not accept it. They would comment. When Srila Prabhupada's disciples came to India, they would tell him, I'm senior to him. I joined earlier, I was already sannyasi, he was grihastha. We only send him from our mat to preach. We only empower him. Like that, they would comment very heavily on Prabhupada. They were envious. They didn't want to help. If you see Prabhupada's letters, at the beginning, Prabhupada asked different... Gaudiya Math had split after the Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura left. They split in two parties first. Who will be next Acharya? All the Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura told them to make GBC, to make the trust, or we may say the association, a group of people who will together manage the mat. They still went for one Acharya. And then they split. There were two parties, fighting, and there was a court case for so many years. And then after that, so many mats, basically each disciples made his own mat. So you have so many Gaudiya mats now, so many branches. And of all the branches, few branches which Srila Prabhupada used to associate, and he would write a letter, please can you do something? I went on order of my Guru Maharaj to New York. It's a great opportunity to preach. People like Kirtan. People appreciate our philosophy. Why don't you send few brahmacharis? Even if they don't know English, doesn't matter. Let them know how to play mridanga. Send few mridangas, send few brahmacharis. They didn't want to send. They did not want to help. This much. You can see Prabhupada's letter. Please Maharaj, there was one rich businessman from Delhi who said, I will sponsor for full Radha Krishna temple in New York. This is 1965. Prabhupada got the donor. And he said that to another, I'll not mention the names to be respectful to Vaishnavas, but he asked one of the sannyasis in Gaudiya Math, his godbrother, please Maharaj, you know very much Dr. Radhakrishnan and other members of parliament in Delhi, please kindly request them permission to transfer money from India to America, that this man is ready to sponsor Radhakrishna temple in New York. This will be great preaching. Our Guru Maharaj will be satisfied, holy name will be spread, New York is most important city in the world, please help. They did not want to help. He could not transfer money because previously taking money out of India was impossible. It was very difficult. They had influence, they could do it, they didn't want to help. So many, you can see so many letters to the Gaudiya Math. Very few people were friendly. Prabhupada's close friend, Bhakti Rakshak Śrīla Maharaj. He was friendly, he understood. Oh, he was very advanced soul, pure devotee. He understood, oh, Prabhupada, you did it. Abhayacharya, you did it. You spread it all over the world. He accepted. He loved Prabhupada very much, he had a respect. Even Narayan Maharaj from Bhakti-prakasika Maharaj's mat, he also appreciated at that time. Later on there was some different misunderstanding, but when Prabhupada was there, he appreciated Prabhupada. Very few. Others did not want to help. One moment Prabhupada said, if a fart will help us, they would hold it. This much they didn't want to help. Heavy statement, no? Should not be able to say this on record, but they didn't want to help. And then Prabhupada came once to Calcutta with Western devotees, and Brahmananda was there to pick him up. So Brahmananda said that they had just rented a house in Calcutta, just started preaching in Calcutta. So Prabhupada was received at the airport, and few brahmacharis came from Gaudiya Math. And they say, Swamiji, our sannyasis in Math are inviting you, please come to their Math. And I think 2 or 3 Maths they were invited. Please, Prabhupada, come to our Math, come to our Swamiji. They won't even call him Prabhupada. They say Prabhupada is only title for Bhaktisiddhānta, should not be called Prabhupada. So much they criticize. And Brahmananda says, oh, Prabhupada, shall we go to this Math for lunch? They invite us, shall we go to that Math? Prabhupada said, no, we go to our place. Then Brahmananda said, yes, Prabhupada. We sat in car and started, and Prabhupada explained, now that I have come from America to the Western disciples, if I go to their Math, they will just take credit and say, we only send him to America, under us he is working. They will just take advantage. Prabhupada understood how political these are. complex political dealings, Amazing, this is amazing that they didn't accept. So many times, His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj said, so many times Prabhupada sent a message to all good brothers in Mayapur. Come now you have seen, I have proved that Western countries are accepting this Krishna consciousness, the holy name is spreading, Westerners have become devotees. There is so much place for everyone to preach. Let us join together and preach together. And they would refuse. They would not come. They would not come in for meeting. Even if they come for meeting, there's so much negative. They didn't want to. They were so envious. So envious. Somehow or other, that jealousy was there. Prabhupada could not, so many times he attempted to unite. So many times, Jayapataka Maharaj said, Prabhupada would say, call this one, call this one, call this one. Only Bhakti-Raksha Śrīla Dev Maharaj would come. Very few would come, here and there. Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj would come. Very few would come. And those who criticize why he is giving to foreigners sannyasis. But Bhaktisiddhānta sent his sannyasis to London to preach. And in Germany too, Germans that become devotees, disciples of Bon Maharaj. So they also, I think, avoided sannyas. So why? And then after they went, now Gaudiya Math went to America and preached. After seeing Prabhupada's success, they also get courage. So anyway, we respect them. In Gaudiya Math there are so many good devotees, dedicated souls, very serious, very sincere, very big devotees. That we should not now, because of that, criticize them. No, those who are serving, they are devotees. But we should also know what happened in the past, that Prabhupada did not get any help from Gaudiya Math. Nobody wanted to help. They simply try to bring us to their platform, and they try to criticize us in every respect. We will very much regret their naive activities and poor fund of knowledge. This is Prabhupada's comment. We regret that their activities are like this, full of envy and poor fund of knowledge. They are not seeing who is pure devotee. And then Prabhupada concludes, an empowered person who is actually engaged in confidential service of the Lord should not be treated as an ordinary human being. For it is stated that unless one is empowered by Krishna, one cannot spread the Krishna conscious movement all over the world. This is famous. Krishna Shakti Vina Nahekar Pravarta. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita. Unless one is empowered by Krishna, he cannot spread the glories of holy name all over the world. And Prabhupada had to quote it and say, come on, are you blind? Can you see? This movement is spreading. It's not boasting. It's simply a fact. It's simply a matter of fact. Come on, why you are commenting? Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura said, spread it in Western countries. We did it. I beg you for help. You did not want to help. Without anybody's help, we did it. And now I'm calling you. Now at least you come together. Now you travel. Prabhupada tells to Śrīla Maharaj, who was very shy, very advanced devotee, very amazing personality. But Prabhupada said, come now, I'll send you. I'll pay you a ticket, go and visit, stay in our temples, go and preach. I cannot do everything myself. I'm old, I need help. You go, you travel some places, I'll go travel another places, we'll spread it together. Śrīla Maharaj was shy. He said, no, you go, I'm old now. He was very shy. But Prabhupada invited all others, come, let's unite, let's do together. No. No, and no, and no. Now, Gaudiya Math more and more appreciate Prabhupada and ISKCON. Look at our temple, look at the thousands, millions of devotees, we have millions of books we distribute. What you can do, you can't ignore. How long you are going to ignore us? How long you are going to ignore Prabhupada? Look what he did. He is the empowered preacher. There's no question about it, no doubt about it. Okay. So some other quotes. Krishna Shakti Vina Nahekar Pravarta. One cannot explain the glories of the holy name of Lord without being specifically empowered by Him. If one criticizes or finds faults with such an empowered personality, one is to be considered an offender against Lord Vishnu and is punishable. Even though such offenders may dress as Vaishnava with false tilak and mala, they are never forgiven by the Lord if they offend a pure Vaishnava. There are many instances of this in Shastras. So look at this. Look at this world. The world is filled with conditioned souls. And conditioned souls are of different grade. Some are more sinful, some are less sinful. And over millions and trillions and billions of souls, you find Prabhupada to comment on. You find a pure devotee to criticize. Then you are really doomed. This is really, should be very careful commenting on pure devotees. This is not to be done. And they are so proud, so much jealous, they commented on Prabhupada. Be very careful in dealing. Should be very careful in dealing. Okay, another shloka famous. Arche Vishnu Shiladir Gurushu Naramati Vaishnava Jati Buddhir. Here, one who thinks the deity in the temple to be made of wood or stone, who thinks of spiritual master in the cyclic succession an ordinary man, who thinks the Vaishnava in the Achyuta Gotra to belong to a certain caste or creed, or who thinks of Charanamrita or Ganga are ordinary waters, is to be a resident of hell. What is that? Narakasa. Samadhir yasya, itara samadhir yasya va narakisa. He is a resident of hell, he is great offender. One who says, Guru Naramate, that Guru is ordinary man and Vaishnava is born in particular family. By birth, Vaishnava is called. No, that should not be there. Now, it's very interesting conversation with 𝐍𝐸 Maharaj and Prabhupada. 𝐍𝐸 Maharaj asked how to see. Sometimes you see Guru forgets something, or sometimes Guru misspells Sanskrit shloka, or sometimes Guru gives some wrong material information. You know, our train was 10 o'clock evening, but actually Maharaj came morning. So obvious mistake, you may say, externally from material point of view. So how to deal with that? Guru, I will just read. Prabhupada, yes, pure devotee does not aspire anything, simply to be engaged in loving service of the Lord, wherever it may be, doesn't matter. So Prabhupada points out, pure devotee means one who does not have material motivation. Simply he wants to serve Krishna. Okay, 𝐍𝐸 Maharaj. They know everything and they are perfect in everything. This is the vision, 𝐍𝐸 Maharaj is a pure devotee. They know everything, they are perfect in everything. But sometimes from our material viewpoint, we see some discrepancies. Just like we think, Prabhupada interrupts him. Because material viewpoint. If you see discrepancy in pure devotee, some mistakes. This is from material point of view. The viewpoint is wrong. Therefore you find discrepancy. So 𝐍𝐸 Maharaj replied. So we should think that we have the defect. Yes. Acharyas explain, Bhakti Samsana. One who is preaching the cult of devotional service, he is Acharya. Then why should you find discrepancy? Any discrepancy? Because we see, 𝐍𝐸 says, for instance, sometimes Acharya may seem to forget something or not to know something. So from our point of view, if someone has forgotten, that is an imperfection. Then you do not understand. Acharya is not God. Guru is not Bhagavan that he knows everything, past, present, future, every single thing, how everything works. No, Guru is not God. Omniscient. No, Guru is not omniscient. He is servant of God. His business is to preach bhakti cult. This is Acharya. And that is the perfection. That is the perfection. So we have a misunderstanding about what perfection is. Yes, perfection is here. How he is preaching bhakti cult. That is all. Not that you are pure devotee? Yes. Okay, what is in my pocket? Whatever is in the pocket is ignorance. You know, this Guru knows how to engage whatever is in your pocket. Whatever is in your pocket. If you don't engage in Krishna service, it will be cause of your bondage. That is the answer. Not that Guru is omniscient. He knows how much Krishna gives him intelligence and knowledge to engage everyone in Krishna service. He knows what is material world, he knows what is spiritual world, he knows what is soul, he knows what is God, he knows the process of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he knows how to deliver one. This is perfection. Not that you know some tricky, oh you know everything. Okay, now you tell, how many years my grandmother had when she passed away? Nonsense question. You know how many years? Millions of lives. She forgot Krishna, she passed away. Without Krishna consciousness, she will take birth again. This is the answer. So one should not see like this. Oh, Guru, he forgot my name. Of course, Guru has 25,000 disciples. How will he remember your name? He's not God. Somebody was upset when one of our 𝐒𝐞𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐫 sannyasi, he forgot his disciple's name. Oh, he forgot my name. Of course he forgot your name, but he did not forget you. No? You're doing your service. You do your service. And Krishna, he knows everything, but not the Guru. Guru is not omniscient. Okay. Then they continue. Prabhupada, in one of the purport in Gita, you write that a disciple of a bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything. Yes, if he follows spiritual masters. Even disciple knows everything. What to speak of Guru? But how could he know? What does it mean, everything? Everything means whatever his Guru knows, he should know. That much. Not like God, everything. Within his limits, that's all. If he tries to understand whether his Guru, whatever his Guru has said, that much is everything. Otherwise, everything does not mean that we know everything like God, like Krishna. That is not possible. If he regularly chants and follows regulatory principles, follows the orders of Guru, then he knows everything. That's all. Not very much. Knows everything then. What is the use of reading books when he knows everything? You cannot expect anyone to know like Krishna everything. Jayadvaita said. Krishna says in Gita that one who knows him knows everything. Yes, because he knows Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he knows everything. That's all. Not that he should know as Krishna. Yasmin vigyate saram eva vigyatam bhavati. If he accepts Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, absolute truth, then he knows everything. That is finished. So very important to understand that Guru may do mistake, may mispronounce shloka, may forget your name, may give some materially wrong information, may mistake something. But this is all from material point of view. There is no mistake in his teaching that one should surrender to Krishna. There is no mistake in his attitude that of unalloyed devotional service. And this is how it should be. Guru is not God. He is empowered by God. And Krishna will give to Guru this much knowledge, how much he needs to know, how much he needs to spread his mission. That knowledge is itself complete, yes. Satsaru. If there is some material information that such person does not know, that is not really knowledge anyway. Prabhupada say, I did not follow. If he does not know how many people live in him, Jayadvaita Maharaj said, just like 𝐒𝐞𝐬𝐭𝐫 could not write, 𝐒𝐞𝐬𝐿 as Babaji Maharaj, Guru of Bhaktisiddhānta. So it appeared that he did not know. There was something that he did not know, although he knew Krishna. Prabhupada. Yes, he knows everything. Otherwise, how Bhaktisiddhānta accepted him as a Guru? He knows Krishna, that's all. So he didn't know how to write, but he knew Krishna. Therefore, he knew everything. Nalinikanta. What the spiritual master says, that's also perfect. Yes, because he does not say anything concocted. Whatever he says from Shastra and Guru. So this is very important instruction, don't be bewildered. Another problem is that devotees have some problem among themselves and they say, somebody says, why don't you tell to Guru Maharaj and clarify the issue? No, Guru knows everything, no need to tell. That's another misinformation. You come and tell, express what is the problem, and then you clarify. Now Guru knows everything. Guru knows Krishna. Guru knows how to engage in devotional service. But if you make him aware of the details, he will give appropriate guidance. If you don't tell half of the thing, then Guru may misunderstand you. And that is caused by you, not by the Guru, misunderstanding. So this is how we should practically deal. We have to see practically how to do that. So summary conclusion is here. When one does criticize pure devotee, this is from purport, he commits an offense, Vaishnava parad, that is very obstructive and dangerous for those who desire to advance in Krishna consciousness. A person cannot derive any spiritual benefit when he offends the lotus feet of Vaishnava. So this is so much warning in this shloka. That one beautiful example given by Rupa Goswāmī, like a Ganga. Ganga, when the rainy season comes, you will see it becomes yellowish, muddy. In Mayapur they call it Gora Ganga, because it becomes yellowish complexion. So still people take bath. Still people, even forms are there or whatever, something carried. By rainy season everything gets disturbed. But still the potency is same. Ganga is not polluted. So this is how a pure devotee should be seen, Vaishnava should be seen. There should not be any fault finding. Everyone should therefore be very careful not to be jealous on an empowered Vaishnava or Shuddha Vaishnava. It is also an offense to consider an empowered Vaishnava an object of disciplinary action. One should not try to comment and tell he's doing wrong, he should correct himself and this and that. No? That's really bogus. It is offensive to try to give him advice or to correct him. This is very bad attitude. Very bad attitude. If you come to Guru Maharaj and say, Maharaj, you should do like this, you should do like that. This is very bad attitude. We had one disciple coming to Guru and he said that, Maharaj, maybe your lectures are nice, but when you deal with devotees, maybe you should be a little tactful. So Maharaj replied, that was not tactful. It is very bad attitude. You come to the point advising Guru and finding fault. Really bad attitude. They're very neophyte. Very neophyte. He started conversation like this. Maharaj, when one is getting senior devotee, when one is becoming senior devotee, one expects more encouragement from Guru, but Guru is chastising him. So Maharaj replied that, oh, when did you become senior? When you were junior. Since you joined, you were thinking yourself senior. That's your problem. You know? When was time that you were junior? As soon as you joined, I'm senior. No? Because he joined elder. He was already 45 when he joined. He thinks I'm senior devotee because of age. And then he said, no Maharaj, you should be encouraged, you should encourage our senior devotees. How can you say to Maharaj, I'm your senior devotee? Really funny. You know? Very bad attitude. Commenting. You know. Okay. So, one can distinguish between neophyte Vaishnava and advanced Vaishnava by their activities. By activities we can see who is advanced, who is not advanced. But usually when we are in Maya, when we are on ego, we don't see properly. Ego means we see ourselves only. And if somebody is trying to help us, give us little advice how to improve our service, then we take it, oh, he doesn't like me, he's not encouraging me. Some devotees are like this. All the time you have to approve what they want. And if you don't approve, you're their enemy. Only they will do service what they want. You can't guide them. Whatever they want, if you don't approve their plan, you're their enemy. They don't like it. And this is not good. You hear from devotees, take their advice, they can help you. Devotees, they can help you. Senior devotees, they can guide us. We are here, to listen advice. You know. Not only, one is encouraged only when his plan, according to his plan. Otherwise, not encouraged. And all the time, Guru has to play with mind. You know, person comes to the Guru and he says like this, that Maharaj say, what shall I do? Guru Maharaj. Maharaj say, okay, go to this place, do like this, start preaching. No, Maharaj, better I do like this. Now how you know what is better? One devotee came to me and said, I met Guru Maharaj, all my doubts are clear now. I say, okay, so what happened? Maharaj told me to go to Africa, but I convinced him it's better for me to stay in India. But you crazy fellow, how can you do that? You convinced Maharaj, means you could not obey the order, so Maharaj given you discount. Maharaj told you go to Africa and preach, and say, no, better to stay in India, and Maharaj say, okay. So, Maharaj told me to stay in India. No, Maharaj told you go to Africa, but you fellow, you could not surrender. Due to attachment, you push. No, Maharaj will stay. Maharaj said, okay, if you cannot go to Africa, then stay in India. What can be done? And you come out of Maharaj's room convinced. Maharaj gave me order to stay in India. But it is not like that. You know? So I told him like this, Prabhuji, this is not good. You convince Maharaj what is better. Who are you to advise Maharaj? Better go there, offer pranam and try to follow instruction. And he did. He said, you are right. I did wrong. He offered pranam and here it is. He is in Africa, preaching successfully for many years. All glories to him. He understood properly. You see? He surrendered. Maharaj is pleased. So this, we have to hear. We can't, I'll tell Guru Maharaj what we. And people come and pushing their point to Guru Maharaj. They don't hear. Maharaj, I'll do like this. I said, maybe you should not do like this, maybe you should consider. No, Maharaj, I'll do like this. Maybe you should consider whether this is good, maybe you should do like this. No, Maharaj, I'll do like this. Okay, come on, Maharaj, order do like this. He is convinced that now he is, empowered by Guru to do. But you could see, Maharaj, he doesn't listen. What can Guru do? Guru has to wait till person matures. And you can see these pushy people, they come with agenda, they raise the voice also. They come in front of Guru Maharaj, no Maharaj, how can you? What? Come on, cool down. What's happening with you? What's your problem? Where is the culture to speak in front of senior like this? Rising voice, that also we have heard, no? I've seen the meetings that, there's some managerial issue and the disciple is rising voice of the Guru. Not offending in that, but that's already offense. No? How can you, Maharaj, give permission to him to preach in my zone without consulting me? So relax, cool down first. Tone, reduce volume. Adjust the attitude. Then you speak. Then what is your attitude? Guru has to ask your permission to do something. Then you are the Guru. And he is disciple. Because Maharaj put you on the post, temple present, now you became Guru of the Guru. Now what about Punar Musika Baba? You can become mouse. Correct? Who given you power of temple president? The Guru. So you want to become mouse? Wash pots again? No? Actually, wash pots is not mouse, that's the tiger. That's the really surrendered soul, not the people who think I'm managing. So bad attitude, so bad. So till Guru encourage them, they glorify Guru. As soon as Guru wants to correct them, immediately find fault. A big problem. You can see people cannot advance like this. It's a big issue. Okay, the advanced Vaishnava is always situated as the spiritual master, and the neophyte is always considered his disciple. Look at the sentence. Look, very simple sentence. Advanced Vaishnava is always situated as spiritual master, and neophyte is always considered his disciples. But this is what we are breaking. This is where we are breaking. We are disobeying. We know better plan. We know how to better distribute books. We know how to better preach. We know better how to give lecture. We are finding fault in Maharaj. We are finding fault in his management. We are finding fault in Prabhupada. What's wrong with you? This is called ahankara vibhudatma kartaham iti manyate. The fools we are. This is how it is. When somebody joins ashram, not the first thing, immediately he is in advisory ministry board. Immediately he has to advise to all managers of temple how to manage the temple. Come on, Baba, cool down a little bit. First you come to new place, see a little bit what's happening. See, am I engaged 24 hours in devotional service? See that these devotees, they are serving Krishna, or their material is spaced out, or what is it, Not immediately you are going to deliver everyone. First day he joins, immediately giving advice to everyone. Come on, just be a little humble. Where's the humbleness? No. Anyway, you learn in ashram humbleness. There are plenty of pots of 2 feet to 6 feet size to advise. You can give the managerial meeting there and advise which pot to wash first, big one or small one. Then you may cool down. The bigger pot, the better management. Really too much, This is so, it is so prominent nowadays. People come from some college background, some nonsense school, managerial school, a managerial degree. Right. So manage yourself how to come off material world. Can you do that? No. Wash the pots then. They're really proud. They're really proud. It doesn't work. Then nobody can help. If you don't hear, Nashroshas is Vinakshas. This is what Krishna says. You don't hear, you will finish. If you don't hear, we have to hear. We have to hear from a Guru. We have to hear from senior. This hearing, touch Shrinu. Krishna says to Arjuna, touch Shrinu, hear now what I say. Then you will get benefit. Machita sarva durgana, mat prasada karishyasi. But my mercy, all your difficulties will be gone, Krishna says. Api chetvam ahankaram, but because of your ahankar, nashroshasi, you don't hear vinakshasi, oh, you will finish. You will be finished by mine. And this is what it is. So much proud. Somebody is a little capable, immediately becomes proud. You know. We are going book distribution and one fellow is pushing. Where we are going? I say, we'll go this street. Why not that street? Tomorrow we'll go that street. Today we'll go. No, first we should go that street. What does it matter? Today we'll finish one street, tomorrow we'll finish another street. Both streets will be done. This is our duty. House to house, road to road. No, that is better street. But what does it matter? Relax a little bit. What is so important? And then he comments after. The Sankirtan leader, he does not manage properly. I told him, go to this street, we can distribute so many books, but he took us in poor man's street. But Prabhupada say, poor man, rich man, you go house to house, there's no discrimination. And next day we were in that street. So what? But just every small thing he knows. Every small thing. Why you are telling that you should tell like this? Okay, next house you speak, you preach, I'll carry books, you speak. No? Pride, too much pride. I know that I don't know. This is what I know. And more I know, more I say I don't know anything. More we read Prabhupada's books, more we see where we are, which platform we are. Vacha vegam, manasapur vegam, jiva vegam, udara pasta vegam, all failure. This is where we are. More you read, more you understand. Where is Prem Bhakti? Where is transcendence? Where is out-of-bodily concentration? Where is humbleness? Where is service attitude? Correct? That is knowledge. Knowledge leads to humility. Now that I distribute 2 sets of Bhagavata, I am that. Last 10 years he's speaking about these 3 sets he'd given in one day. Now still he's talking about it after 10 years. In one day I did 3 sets I given. And after that, 30 years I didn't give 1 set. It's like, what is it? This is so, look at this simple sentence. Advanced Vaishnava is always teaching the spiritual master, neophyte is always considered disciple. The spiritual master must not be subjected to advice of disciple. Okay? So that disciple should not advise the Guru. Nor should spiritual master be obliged to take instruction from those who are not his disciples. Or the other fellows comes and just go on advising. This is the sum and substance Rupa Goswami's advice in 6 verses. This is how Prabhupada finished the commentary. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, Pīyūṣa-varṣiṇī-vṛtti, he says, the instruction of these 6 verses is that it is improper to perceive mundane defects in pure devotees and to consider them to be merely conditioned souls. It is impossible for pure devotee to fall into bad association or to commit offenses to the holy name. This is the characteristics of pure devotee. Look at this one. Pure devotees, they don't criticize and they don't fall down. That's what they are, pure devotees. So don't criticize, don't comment. Perhaps there can be some imperfection in their bodies and in their natures. Lack of cleanliness, deformity, ugliness, old age, so forth are bodily imperfections. Birth in low caste, harshness, lethargy, and so forth are imperfection on one's character. These are one imperfections of body and then imperfections of character. By example, the water of Ganges is considered to be pure despite the natural appearance of bubbles, foam, mud, and so on within it. And its nature as liquefied transcendence is not lost. Similarly, Vaishnavas who have realized their eternal identities are not contaminated by the natural transformatory of the physical bodies, transformations of the physical body, such as birth, aging, death, and so on. Therefore, even upon observing perfection in pure Vaishnava, one intent on performing bhajana should never disrespect him. By disrespecting such a personality, one becomes an offender, aparadhi. So this is important. I just heard His Holiness Ṭhākura Goswāmī Maharaj's lecture on the Nectar of Instruction, the Shloka 6. And of course, as I expected, he just said, Prabhupada is best example. He just goes on lecture talking about Prabhupada. He was his secretary servant. He was empowered by Prabhupada to preach. and opened many centers, made many devotees. And he said that sometimes, he said like this, nothing about Prabhupada was mundane. People comment, sometimes he would be upset for small thing, and they say, anyways, elder gentleman due to old age. But Ramakrishna said, no, it's transcendental Prabhupada. Sometimes the devotees from the West will comment, Prabhupada is from Bengal, so he likes Indian food, prefers Indian rice dal, sabji chapatis. But no, his taste is transcendental, it's not Indian. Never see Guru through that. One foolish person commented that Prabhupada was a little tough on women, calling them less intelligent because of his upbringing in Scottish Churches College by the missionaries. In those days, they would comment, his upbringing in India, which was very stiff between the genders, roles were very much discriminated in India, that men would have all privilege, women would have no any privilege. So Prabhupada spoke these things not from Shastra but from his conditional background. And Prabhupada said himself, when they asked him, when did you become Krishna conscious? Prabhupada said, I don't remember time that I was not Krishna conscious. From my childhood. So he was not conditioned by this upbringing and college and education nonsense. You can't see pure devotee conditioned like this. That, college influenced Prabhupada's thoughts, and because he's born in Bengal, he likes Rasgulla. No, he knows what is Krishna's taste. His spiritual personality. So it should never be seen. And Ramakrishna Maharaj said, and Prabhupada showed he is above body. You sleep 2 hours and travel like this and preach and do the programs and translate all night and run the society, and travel all over the world in his age. Ramakrishna Maharaj said, every morning, whenever opportunity was there, when he was with Prabhupada, he will go with Prabhupada walk. He said 1 hour. Prabhupada would walk and talk. And they were young people, 20s. They could not walk with him. He said, after 1 hour walking with Prabhupada, you are flat on your back, you are tired, you are exhausted. Prabhupada nothing. He said, give class. After the class, he took prasadam, went on meeting people, went on having his massage. Afternoon, he would again have meeting all the guests. Evening time, he would give lecture. When everybody go to sleep, 10 to 12, he will sleep. 12 o'clock, he'll wake up, chant, translate, read. Every day, day in, day out, day after day like this. He said, you can't do that. They simply above bodily platform. You cannot. All young people, nobody could match him. Nobody could last. Therefore, they had to change secretaries all the time. They would collapse with her. There's no time. It was so intense. Jet lag, this, that, nothing affected. Prabhupada was now in India. He goes to Europe. There is some few hours difference. He had his schedule. 8 o'clock this, 9 o'clock this, 10 o'clock this. He would just adjust his watch. Okay, now what's the time? Now it's 3 o'clock, Prabhupada. Alright, 3 o'clock. He just start acting as a 3 o'clock. Not affected by body. Goes to America, 12 hours difference. He just said, okay, what's the time? Prabhupada, now it's 10 at night. Alright, let's go to sleep. 2 hours sleeping, wake up like nothing happened. All servants, 3 days, just sleeping on the lecture, nighttime chanting because they cannot sleep at night, and complete opposite everything. Nothing affected Prabhupada. Nothing affected him. He showed, you could see in his body. Ramakrishna just all lecture given about Prabhupada. That's appropriate. This is the pure devotee who is not affected. He showed us. He showed the characteristic, the quality, that transcendentally situated person, fully absorbed in service, an effect of preaching. Preaching. Ramakrishna Maharaj says another example that they were in Kumbh Mela. And Prabhupada was all these big Jagat Gurus who were there. You know what is Kumbh Mela? All spiritual leaders, all the spiritual society. Even one who has one disciple or no disciples, self-claimed Gurus, they will go there. Because that's the place of sadhus gathering. And it was like this for years. Nowadays all kinds of people gather there. So sadhus they gather, big Gurus. From all over India, everybody will make his camp. And they would ride on big elephants. And there was a big procession. Who is Mahant? Who is going to be accepted by all sadhus to be leader? There is big competition. And I went for this Mahakumbha Mela. That was, I think, 2003, if I remember properly. Or 2000. maybe 2000, I think. And they will have big churning, big gatherings. Who is the biggest Mahant? And then he would ride on elephant first, and all other mats will follow. There will be procession. Guru will sit on the elephant, and then on the horse chariots, and all kinds of palkins will carry. And like this, one by one, Guru will go. The Guru or Naga Babas, they will be first, and like that, There's all big procession. And then devotees arrange elephant for Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, "Oh, elephant, great. We'll put Radha-Krishna deities. We'll walk behind." Isn't beautiful? And then who was the most famous Guru at that Kumbh Mela? Prabhupada. Everybody invited him. 3 to 5 invitation a day they would get. Ramakrishna said, mostly 5 programs a day. Morning program in our temple, then immediately invitation. In one, they will have these pandals all around. So they will call him to another pandal. Prabhupada will come, first kirtan, then lecture, then again kirtan. Go to next place. 5 programs a day. Night time he will come back to his tent, 10 to 12 sleep, 12 o'clock translate books all night. All night was raining. All Kumbh Mela was heavy rains. Morning he will take cold bath like everybody else, attend Mangalarati because other devotees would not come in because it was very cold. He would take cold bath although he was sick. And again, 5 programs a day. Ramakrishna said, everybody collapsed, everybody got sick, everybody completely exhausted. And Prabhupada just continued, nothing happened. It's unbelievable in this age to do that. Completely transcendental. Just completely absorbed. Nothing could stop him preaching. And he didn't miss any night to write books peacefully, nothing, no complaint, living in tent, living in cold, no facilities. Nothing could stop him. This is a pure devotee. That nobody should comment on the pure devotee. Okay, here it is. Rādhā-ramaṇa Goswāmī's Upadesa-prakasika tika. Due to their residing within the material world, pure devotee seems to have some apparent defects from the mundane perspective. Nevertheless, we should not consider such devotees to be material, or in other words, to be ordinary conditioned souls. One notices imperfection in their natures, such as harshness, anger, greed, or imperfection in their bodies, such as lack of cleanliness, ugliness, aging, and so on. He should never assign mundane attributes to them. It is impossible for these mundane imperfections to exist within devotees' spiritually perfected bodies. Actually, they have spiritual body. Actually, they have realized their Swarupa. Actually, they are serving Krishna 100%. So this external body, this is not considered. Therefore, to perceive this mundane defect in elevated devotee is offensive. This point has been made clear by the example of Ganges water. Okay, nice. Thank you very much. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. Hare Krishna. So this is, look, if you consider this, Upadesa-amrita, the nectar of instructions, of all the philosophy of Vedas, of millions of shlokas, you want to put 11 essential verses for the sadhaka to get proper guidance. One shloka is warning about offenses. How much importance is it? Don't take spiritual master to be ordinary person. You're not going to progress. Just see this. If you select 11 most important shlokas from Shastra, one of them is warning. Don't offend pure devotee. Don't offend any devotee. Don't offend pure devotee, will be ruined. This is such a warning. And the beautiful explanations given. They are pure, they are transcendent. There is a reason it's given. It's not blind faith. It's not blind faith that you have to follow whatever. If Guru suddenly starts talking against Guru Sadhu Shastra, but he is Guru, no. You offer pranam, but you don't follow, you don't associate them. If Guru is clearly speaking against Prabhupada, against Guru Sadhu Shastra, then there is a Shastric statement, Guru Tyag, and we can keep distance from that Guru till Śrīla Vishnu Thakur said, till he corrects himself. If he corrects himself, he should be again accepted as a Guru. If he is going against Guru Sadhu Shastra conclusion, breaking 4 principles, he is not Guru. That transcendence we don't accept. The Guru never breaks 4 principles. Not that I'm transcendental, I can sleep with anybody's wife. Not like that. Sahajiyas, they do that. No. No, not accept. So this much. But this is extreme. This is really extreme. Breaking of principles, speaking against Prabhupada, speaking against Shastra. Then one should immediately go to senior Vaishnava and say, what shall I do? Even then, one should not criticize him. One should simply offer pranam and keep distance. One will not take guidance from him. One will not hear from him. One will not obey him in that moment. Keep distance but keep respect. Because kshipram bhavati dharmatma. If he corrects himself, he should be accepted as well. That is only occasion. Otherwise, these small things, he is old, he is getting sick, he forgotten somebody's name, or he misspelled the shloka. Come on, this is not wrong. His attitude, his dedication, his commitment to Krishna, he's fully absorbed in devotional service. This is what it is. This is what should be seen. Thank you very much. Any questions, comments, any quotes more? If some other quotes? Speak loudly. Yeah. What was that? Tell that. What was that?
So the tooth was, Prabhupada's tooth was, he had a clear toothache, tooth was removed, but he was just functioning.
Yeah.
Like toothache is the most heaviest pain anybody can do.
Right. Prabhupada have heavy toothache. Everything was swollen. Heavy pain. And he just tolerated. He didn't go to doctor. And one day he himself just plucked it out and put it on the table. One morning, Harishari Prabhu comes and just saw the tooth. Nothing.
He kept it.
He still has it. Yeah. No, this tooth from spiritual master's body is spiritual. We have Danta Samadhi of Gadadhar Pandit in Vrindavan. His Danta Samadhi, his tooth is placed in Samadhi, is worshipped there. Because body of spiritual master is spiritual. His body is never burnt, is preserved with salt and buried under the earth out of respect. Because everything spiritual master uses, his stick, his pen, his table, everything he uses is completely spiritual because it was used fully in Krishna service. All of these items one should not one should step over it or touch it by foot or disrespect in any way. These are all worshipful items. This is amazing, actually. What a warning. Look at the shloka and how beautifully explained. Like a Ganga is always pure. Externally may look different, but can benefit. Ramanujacharya's body, even today in Srirangam worshipped. Ramanujacharya, his own body is there, just covered with sandal and camphor and saffron. His own body is there, worshipped, not murti. His own body is sitting there. This is most amazing, 1,000 years. Last year was 1,000 years of his appearance. Most amazing. Anything else? Yes.
We see from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Rādhā-ramaṇa Goswāmī, he was, whenever someone brought him about any bad attitude in the devotee or anything offensive, he never hear anything offensive about it. He was such a platform, we always see only the good in the devotees. So practically for practicing sadhakas like us, we cannot totally turn off our intelligence also. At the same time, we should know who is the Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama, and how to properly balance. Sometimes any small thing you want to tell something, you think that it's your dana Vaishnava or something. So how a devotee should balance?
Right. Well, there are two, one should balance by the knowledge, by the discrimination, proper discrimination based on Srila Prabhupada's books. One should not be overly critical, but one should not be sentimental also. Correct? So, the point is that one has to see what is the proper understanding. Say somebody is under class misquoting Prabhupada or misusing example or something. That should be pointed out politely that Prabhuji, Pranam, nice class, but please, not that you have to tolerate. You can say, please, can you clarify? Depends again, is he senior, is he equal or junior? Again, we are applying these principles, how to see each devotee. If somebody is criticizing, although we told, we should not listen at any cost. We should not listen criticism or Vaishnavas. Okay. But again, if somebody comes and say, Prabhuji, we've seen this man coming out from that woman's house. What shall we do? Don't criticize the devotees. No, one should first understand the facts. Correct? And if it's like this, then please report to the authority. Correct? So one should not be blind. Don't criticize devotee means then let them do whatever they want to do. And that's not proper also. Then again you cannot advance. Correct? So discrimination, intelligence has to be used based on Prabhupada's books. Correct? So simply we have to apply this knowledge with proper attitude and understanding. And again depends, is it junior, is it equal, or is it senior, how to deal. Already we explained, if you see some fault in senior, you have to go to another senior in order to explain and to instruct, to correct that personality. Amongst equal, I think this is accepted, that I can tell you, you can tell to me, that we should appreciate each other. And junior one should be merciful and guide them and forgive them. Young devotee means all the time you do some mess due to misunderstanding, due to imperfect knowledge. So that should be forgiven and encouraged, But now one should not be overly critical also. Not every small thing, useless fellow, you are not devotee. Don't be extreme. Come on, he's trying to serve, encourage, So it's really, it's a full package. It's not black and white, it's full package. The knowledge, the understanding, the dedication, appreciation, humility. Unless you are humble, how can you appreciate other people's effort? No? This is also difficult, no? So it's all package, everything should be applied. The knowledge, wisdom, vision, appreciation of service, and help each other to correct mistakes and help each other to advance in life. That's the idea. So sometimes we are too sentimental. Sometimes some man is doing something wrong for years and nobody corrects him. That sentimentalism doesn't help him to advance. We have seen one devotee. Sometimes he presented on leader meetings that I'm doing feeding poor people with food. Then you can see photos, he is coming with politician, giving Britannia biscuits and bread and blankets to poor people. And I was shocked. He's showing to all temple presidents that look what a great activities I'm doing. And you could see bread and Britannia biscuits given to poor people. Then how did they get benefit? So I was in front of senior devotees there. So I was looking what they will say. And all are clapping hands. They allow him. So I was shocked. So I approached one senior devotee saying, Maharaj, what is devotee doing? He's with politician going, Britannia biscuits and bread, you could see on photo. Yeah, we told him so many times, he's not listening. You see that? And what has happened to him now? After 20 years of serving ISKCON, he left ISKCON, became politician, became BJP candidate. Sangat Sanjayate Kama. You see? But we objected. But I didn't criticize him, I didn't jump on him and cut his head or something, We simply approached senior devotee and they say, we tried, he's not listening, what can we do? But others were bewildered. Others were clapping hands. So, my understanding was that senior should tell in front of everyone, you're okay, nice, you want to help others, but at least this with prasadam, People are getting good name of ISKCON, that's true. But what the benefit is giving Britannia biscuit, giving them more karma than they have. So, like this, these things should not be tolerated, these things should be... But, you see, people don't listen. What can you do? People do not listen. So it's like how to deal. It's a complex thing. Not sentimentally follow. If you see that leader is talking against Prabhupada, doing something Prabhupada never did, then you can, consult some other devotees and say how to understand this. Correct? Particularly if it's a question of Guru. Then you can, not that Guru is, doing something funny, Guru has woman secretary. Personal secretary, servant of Guru is lady, unmarried lady. Correct? But Guru is concerned we should not question. Okay, we should not question, but consult a little bit. You can go to another Guru and say, Maharaj, my Guru Maharaj has female secretary, so it's a little disturbing, mind is a little critical, what do I do? How to understand this? No? Then they will say, Prabhupada never had female secretary, so maybe we should request Maharaj to have some brahmachari traveling with him, Otherwise the fate of people will be disturbed, correct? But not that you immediately comment on Guru and this, that, and or you instruct Guru, not like that. Approach another senior to clarify doubt, correct? And that's also good. If you find every single thing, fault you find, then others will also correct you. Hey, maybe you cool down a little bit, unnecessary, you're finding faults. So how to deal? Well, according to time, place, circumstance, according to Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, according to Prabhupada example. Whatever Prabhupada did, perfect. Perfect example he said. Like that.
Yeah, sometimes you see the clear deviations. They misquote the Shastra also. There's a Vaishnava Kriya Mudra, you can't understand the Vaishnava. But
Yeah, and that's sentimentalism. Nobody can understand that. The pure devotee is drinking liquor and the disciple is quoting Vaishnava Kriya Mudra. Nobody can understand the activity of pure devotee. No, we can understand. No drinking, Prabhupada said. It's not possible. So that's sentimentalism. And it happened. I told you with this Nityananda, they want to follow him even after the movie was played. Yes, bro. You give mic?
Prabhu, at least 2 instances.
Yes.
I'd like to quote it.
Yes.
One of our God brother, I was explaining to him, I know that his daughters are going to dance school. I was trying to explain him, saying that
What?
dance school.
Dance?
dance school.
Dance school. Dancing school. Who is going?
One of our daughters,
Daughter was going to dance school, okay?
I told him that Maharaj doesn't like this, and Prabhupada also never encouraged this. And he was saying like, you have to be practical also, Prabhu. And I explained this.
We have to be practical.
And I explained that Maharaj, this is one instance.
He said that we have to be practical. So by dancing, allowing daughter to go to dance school, we are practical. Practically we stay in material world. That's so practical. Okay, so means he doesn't know our philosophy. Okay, then?
The other instance, in a forum, one devotee was criticizing Sai Baba. One of the leaders says that we should not criticize the sadhu.
A sadhu. No, he is right. We should not criticize sadhu. But Sai Baba is not a sadhu.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. Prabhupada said, don't tell name in the public because people will misunderstand. But you can explain the matter. If you, Prabhupada like this, when you ask Prabhupada, what do you think about this Baba, that Baba? Prabhupada would ask, what is his philosophy? Then Prabhupada will smash philosophy. He won't maybe name the person. Don't sometimes Prabhupada name the person also, but he say in public don't mention the name. Because sentimental people get hurt and misunderstand and they will not get the point. But you don't have to mention the name, but you smash the philosophy. Correct? You can completely expose the philosophy and preach Krishna conscious philosophy and automatically. Somebody asked me, I have a guru. Okay. So what is he teaching? Then he said, Guru is teaching some tantra, chakra, elevation, this, that. So I told him, look, Shastra says that Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, holy name, holy name, holy name, that's the process. So Guru teach how to surrender to Krishna, not that how to merge in. So we like this we preach to him. Then he himself said, oh, maybe I should find another Guru. I said, thank you very much, good understanding. No, I didn't tell him, give up your Guru. I just say Guru should teach how to surrender to Krishna. Krishna is teaching surrender to me. Guru is one who teach how to surrender to Krishna. So first criteria when you accept Guru, is he teaching Krishna Bhakti? If not, he is not a Guru. Whoever he is. Then people don't get offended, So, if the Guru is teaching only service of him without serving of Krishna, that is not a Guru. So like this you have to preach, Then it's more, But Prabhupada will mention in such a way that you will understand. Like in Gita he said, there is a mission which propagates that demigod worship is equal to the Vishnu worship. There is a mission means this Ramakrishna mission, everybody knows, but I should not say name in the public. So clear, So, like that.
Prabhupada, they complained that.
Shavirankar.
No.
That's another one, no?
Yeah. One of the disciples criticized, I'm not sure, Vivekananda or and they went.
Right. Dr. Radhakrishna. That was the Leela with Dr. Radhakrishna. Prabhupada said that Dr. Radhakrishna is rascal because he gave a comment on this shloka, Manmanava Mad Bhakto, that it's not to Krishna to surrender, to unborn within Krishna. So Prabhupada is rascal. Then one gentleman came and said, Prabhupada, I heard your disciple said that you said that Dr. Radhakrishna is a rascal. Prabhupada said, if he said, who said that I said? If he said that I said, he is a rascal. Then that gentleman get pacified. Oh, you didn't say it. If he said that I said, and I did not say it, then he is the rascal. Then they, so you didn't say it. Prabhupada said that, give me that book. He opened the book, Gita commented by, you know that book? I know, Divine Society. Alright. He said, read the purport. Manmarava Madbhakto. It is not to Krishna that one should surrender, but the unborn within Krishna. Then Prabhupada, therefore I say he is rascal. So, you see, Prabhupada would no sentiment and no cover up. He would explain. But you have to explain philosophy. It's not enough to call men bad names. You can't say that. You better preach, explain to people. Why not demigod worship? Why not this bogus guru worship? Who is bogus guru? Who is real guru? What is bhakti? What is Gita? Well, I have a guru. Okay, you have guru. I also follow spiritual. Okay, you follow spiritual. Now, how do I argue with him? I say, but Gita is most authorized book of Vedic knowledge, is accepted by all. Yes. Gita says, surrender to Krishna, correct? So by surrendering to Krishna, one will advance. Are you doing Vishnu Bhakti? Are you worshipping Krishna? Are you serving Krishna? This is how we argue with them. We don't know what's your philosophy, but are you devotee of Krishna or not? No, we want Brahma Jyoti. Brahmano hi pratishtaham amritasya vyasya shashvatasya dharmasya sukhasya ikantikasya. Krishna is based on Brahma. From Krishna Brahman has come. So we immediately preach. What's the problem? You preach to him, but explain to him. But not he's bogus guru. He will get hurt. He is not going to listen to you. Explain. Then when he says, oh, maybe my guru is not good, then you encourage. Yeah, come. Good understand. Come. Yeah? Don't just because, what is the point? He cannot understand. Our job is to make them understand. Our job is not blindly following. They are some weak people. Whatever you tell, he will follow. But point is, if they come with their understanding, they accept Prabhupada and Krishna with their understanding, then they will last. Their understanding means you explain to them. We explain from Srila Prabhupada's books, then they will last. Some people, whatever you tell them, they will follow. Fellow comes here, I follow. Okay, I follow. But not thinking, not applying his intelligence. Then he goes to another mission and then they convince him, this is better. That is better. I say, what happened to you? You're coming for, 3 years, you're coming to 𝐒𝐞𝐬𝐭, suddenly you went to some other, But they also say about God. It means, you see, he never applied his intelligence. Just because relatives they brought him, he was coming here. Now they took him. Now I saw him in the church. I say, what happened to you now? No, they also speak about God. I came to hear. All the time they are speaking about God. I say, yeah, they are speaking all the time about God, but after the Sunday feast program, there is the chicken biryani, that is there. But I don't take, I'm vegetarian. But your leader is following less than you. But now they also talk about God. So what do you do? He was exposed in 2 minutes. But point is that he cannot understand by intelligence. What can he do? But shocking, after 3 years, that somebody goes to first another Hindu mat, and then from there he goes to the church. What is the next? Said. Okay, anything else? Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupāda ki Jai.